$2,858 of student debt is acquired every second.
I'm sorry, you just have to say that again. Did you say second?
Every second. It just passed again. Another 2,850. Oh, another 2,800.
I can't say it
What?
fast enough. You got to say twice as much just to finish the sentence.
Right.
$5,220. That's insane.
That is insane. Hey, did you guys ever sign up for student debt in college?
Yes.
They
Only-
make it way too easy. No wonder that happens so
Right.
much. Holy cow.
I have friends who actually have signed up and didn't know they signed up. Like they just had it and they're like, I didn't even know.
That's crazy.
The part that they pitch you with is, we'll help pay your apartment.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You can buy groceries. You can just fund your life while you're going to school.
You can focus on school and not work.
Right.
But then you're going to pay us back later.
Mhm.
I'm still just baffled by that stat.
What's
by
the
way.
total number of student loan debt are we at?
Student loan debt? Isn't it like 1.5
Total-
trillion?
1.4 trillion. Thanks
Mhm.
for asking.
Tried to steal your thunder.
The total
1.4
US
trillion, 2,528, 1.2 million, 5 million, whatever. I can't even say the numbers. Those are so
Sorry.
big.
But
Right.
on top of that, the total U.S. consumer debt is 11.4 trillion.
That's crazy. That
That's
means
crazy.
like a tenth of our
Half-
total debt is student loans.
Right. 10
Right.
trillion of that is just Netflix. I'm just kidding.
That 1.3 trillion of it is auto loan debt.
Oh.
And then credit card revolving debt was 444 billion.
Well, and the revolving,
Revolving
the
debt.
debt that stays.
Right.
every-
That
every
people are
month.
actually paying interest
'Cause
on.
it's like almost a trillion otherwise.
Right.
But then they pay it off.
Yeah, the
So-
interest part is where they get you. It's not so much the debt, I suppose, that I hate, but it's the interest added on top of that debt.
Matt, I know you have a little bit more research into this.
So debt has a long history, right? People have been debt and charging interest for a long time, but there's been a lot of kind of, particularly in the religious realm, questions about the moral attributes of debt. And so in the Torah, it talks about that the Israelites aren't supposed to charge a fellow Israelite usury, is the term. Usury can be interpreted meaning, so when someone was struggling financially, they needed help. If you had money, you offered them help. That's usury if you then charge them interest. And so some people, and some different religions, and one example is medieval Christianity, interpreted more broadly that any sort of debt in which you can't charge interest to another Christian. It's actually the Jewish communities, ironically enough, ended up being the money lenders because they couldn't borrow money from each other. The Christians couldn't. But in the Torah, it's usually interpreted, or has been interpreted also, that usury is distinct from, like, say, business debt or investing debt.
I borrow so I can then use the money to make money.
Right. So that's okay to charge interest on because they're trying to make money off of it. And so you're taking a risk on by giving them your money because you may lose it.
When we say is debt good or evil, I was going to say, well, debt, like, is owning debt good or evil? Like, can I loan money, or is having debt evil? If having debt is evil, does that automatically make it evil to loan people money? But you've already started to create that distinction that I was going to kind of divide is there's kind of business and business debt, and there's debt as an asset class. If Apple wants to build $1 billion plant, we're not all going to loan them money and then not expect them to pay us interest when they're going to build a plant to then make billions more dollars. I mean, of course, we're going to look to make money. So that's a form of an asset class. So then you have debt you've loaned out, and it's for business purposes. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Versus, your neighbor is struggling and
Right.
you loan them $10 to buy gas to get to work so they can keep their job.
Right. So when, we hear about debt a lot. I mean, I think about it, especially for us, we're all millennials. So we're coming of age during the Great Recession. And so debt was kind of a big problem, and we are the ones who have most of that $1 trillion is on our generation.
We owe the money.
We owe the
student
money.
loans.
Yeah, we
I
owe
wouldn't
the
say-
money.
Yeah, with and we were born into massive amounts of government debt.
Right.
Like, we don't know anything but debt.
Oh, so
Mhm.
this 11.4 trillion includes government debt.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, this is
government
just
government has $21 trillion worth of its own debt.
What?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, we've been adding it on at astronomical pace.
And we've
Yeah.
been funding them with our taxes, so we get interest, right?
No,
We're paying the
well,
interest.
We're paying the interest
Our
for the
taxes
government
paid-
debt as
yeah,
well as our
absolutely.
own debt.
Our
So
yes.
we really have $32 trillion in
That's
debt.
a better way of looking at
Yeah, exactly. For 350 million.
Holy.
people.
No, I mean, it's insane. So at lunch today, though, we're running through, and so I'm doing the math, and we quickly found how much was in total, which was like the 1.5 trillion. That's how I kind of knew that number. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do the math real quick per person. And we had the $4 trillion in consumer debt, which is separate from everything else. And I put in my calculator. And I kept going, something's wrong. I keep getting $50. And I had made a joke about like, I'm not even sure I know how to put $4 trillion into a calculator. And then like we spent all this time trying to figure it out. And then finally we realized I was missing 3 zeros because I had actually never put $1 trillion in a calculator. So I put $400
billion. Yeah.
Wow.
and I was just like,
Missed the
oh,
three
I need more zeros to try to fathom how much we have in debt at 33 trillion. Like, is it even something we can figure out? But does that make America evil? I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about good, evil, bad. Is it a moral thing? How do we even, as the generation who is inheriting this situation, how do we even process it?